Two things can be true. You can be a nice guy and a white supremacist all at the same time.
Can you?
I don't know.
Just like
Hot
the worst.
Yeah. All right, this is the first
I could
podcast.
say this. You can't say that.
That's right.
First podcast in the new studio and subsequently the last podcast ever. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the best podcast. I'm here in the new studio with a brand new setup. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. I'm sitting down today with my good buddies Clay Beyersdorfer and Enzo Nitti. They are both returning. They're some of my favorite podcast guests that I've had over the past year, so I thought I'd have them in for a good little end-of-year review just to test out the new studio and see how it goes. This was a really fun episode, and I really like it. I think you're going to enjoy it, too. I know there's a lot of fun moments in there you're going to enjoy. So without further ado, Clay Beyersdorfer and Enzo Nitti. Not in that camera at all, but I don't think it'll matter. I'm so frustrated with. Last night, Rick and I were we were moving shit. Whatever. We were in here all night, and it was constantly like, okay, what about an inch forward, and then an inch to the left, and then an inch back, and then like just micro movements all night to make sure we had everything. And then it's like, okay, well, now we don't have any outlets that will reach. What do we do? And then it was so infuriating. And the later it got, the more both of us were just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Just throw the shit in the office.
Yeah. So, well, I guess before we should start, I want to shout out Rick Billings for helping me move all this, man, because he really did. I mean, we got here at probably 1:30, and we didn't walk out till 5:50 something.
Oof.
Yeah, we had to. There weren't any like flatbeds, like to move. Just like a cart to move the patio furniture that was in here out. The only thing we could find was those luggage like racks, the things bellhops push.
Yeah.
And so at like 3 a.m, we had 2 luggage racks loaded with patio furniture walking down the street.
That looks totally not suspicious whatsoever.
Yeah. The person that works the front desk downstairs was like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, it's okay. It's our furniture. And he was just like, okay.
Is it?
And he was like, yeah, that's not suspicious at all.
That's nuts. And you guys look like 2 goon-looking characters. Shadowy.
Dude,
you look mischievous.
Yeah.
Trying to say
2 large white guys with shaved heads and beards and like kind of like ratty clothes. And we were just like, hey, like as we wheeled furniture out, and the guy's like, I don't know if I get paid enough to stop you, but I don't know if I'm allowed to let you keep going.
But you were like I think it's really funny, an idea of like a super polite, like anti-Semitic person, or like somebody that's like a goon or something like a bad person, but it's just like super polite. It's like, excuse me, there was a rally around here. Can you direct me to?
It says yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, how are you doing, buddy? Quick question.
Have you seen
a bunch of guys that look like me?
Yeah.
And they're kind of like walking weird, and like they've got opinions about things.
They're saluting or saying hi.
Yeah, like kind of. Like,
some of them may have white sheets on. Some of them may have not.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Yeah, God bless. That's the best part.
God bless. Thank you so much.
Someone will tell you the worst possible thing, and then right at the end is God bless you.
Yeah. Happy holidays, by the way. It's so funny. It's like you're a white supremacist, but you're like, I still respect.
Yeah.
Happy holidays. I'm not a jerk. You know.
I have my ideologies, but I'm not an animal.
Yeah.
You know?
What am I, an asshole?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
The way the Lord intended.
Oh my God, that's
Two
such
things can be true. You can be a nice guy and a white supremacist all at the same time.
Exactly. Can you?
I don't know.
just like
Hot
the
takes
worst.
from Clay.
Yeah.
All right, this is the first
I could
podcast-
say this. You can't say that.
That's right. That's right.
First podcast in the new studio, and subsequently the last podcast ever. And it took 4 minutes for us to get into white
God.
supremacy.
Where do you think white supremacy gets their sponsorships? Like Bed Bath and Beyond,
Home Depot.
just their sheets.
The Gap.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it.
The Gap.
The Gap.
Oh man.
The other night we were at Smash'ems, and a comic was on stage and said that she was like, I'm always worried I smell like white privilege. I smell like she said, I think I smell like Starbucks and scented candles. And I was like, that's not what white privilege smells like.
No.
That's not at all. You picked the two best
Things.
scents that
Yeah.
white people could kind of claim, you know? And it was
Yeah.
like, what white privilege smells like is probably like wet dog and like old lunch meat, you know?
And White Claw.
You can
Yeah.
tell that that comic doesn't spend a whole lot of time around black people, because black people will tell you exactly what white people smell like, and they're not in any way, shape, or form like shy about it. They're
Musty.
like, y'all stink. It's like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll give you that. I apologize.
God, I was about to ask. Well, never mind. I was gonna go into the.
You're about to ask what you smell.
No, like because I mean, when I think of racists that smell the best, I mean, black people with the cocoa butter. I mean,
Top tier.
top tier.
Top tier.
Yeah.
Top tier stereotypical smell.
Yeah, and then Indian. There's the curry, and there's a borderline when it's like, oh, this is
The
really
way
nice.
you brought that up was almost like you were about to contrast. You were like, you were like, black people smell the best with cocoa butter. And then
Now let's
Indians-
talk about Indian people.
No.
Let's get into it.
Yeah,
for sure.
there's a potency that you ever smell something and it's like, do I like this? I don't know. What's it? Oh, I kind of. You keep smelling it, like it's like a fart. Like if you,
Yeah.
they don't
Okay.
smell like farts, but
I was, you know,
I'm talking about the
Black
example.
people smell like cocoa butter. Indian people
Actually-
smell like farts.
real quick, can you take that stuff down off the ledge? Because I can't
This
see. Yeah, I can't see that camera, and you might be blocking your face. This is
I was trying to get our sponsors.
Yeah.
Clean creatine.
The clean creatine. That's what I got myself drinking here.
I'm not selling out, man. Nobody's getting free.
Oh my god,
Free
you would sell
sponsor.
out so freaking
Oh
quick.
yeah, I'm sorry. No, let me
This is
rephrase.
my active call for selling out right
I'm
now.
not selling out because they haven't offered anything yet. When you offer me something,
Yeah.
I will display it.
Yeah.
However, until then, you can kick rocks.
What would be your pitch for clean creatine?
I mean, clearly I care about health. You know?
I mean, have you seen me?
That's why I bought all new furniture, you know? Like, I would like to take a moment to just say that I read the comments. I heard the people, the voice of the people. A lot of comics were like, oh, I love doing your podcast. It's a lot of fun, but your chairs and your camera angles make me look fat. It's not the chairs, guys.
Yeah.
It's not the chairs or the cameras. I'm a big man myself. And when I look fat, it's because I'm fat. You know what I mean?
Well-
And there was a lot of comics that were like, oh, man, your camera angles make me look bad. And I'm like, no, man,
You just are ugly.
I'm sorry. When people in the comments call me out, like I had one guy, the first comment I ever got was a guy just saying obese. And, I mean, that was the whole comment. That was the only thing it said. It just said obese.
You know he thought that through because
I mean,
no one says obese. They go with fat. You have to think about
Yeah,
obese.
he was watching it, and I think it was just like a stream of consciousness, and he was just like obese, like that, you know. And I couldn't even get mad at it because I was like, all right, man, man, I look obese on this. And I just took it on the chin. And then all of these comics. That was a good one. No, I don't know. It started to kind of piss me off because it's like I tried. All right, I would put out furniture. I thought it'd be comfortable.
I had no problem with.
Yes, because you're not obese. But here's the thing.
I am hot.
You know what?
Damn it.
Yeah. Which reminds me, do not let me forget after we wrap.
You have to tell me a story.
I have to tell you something.
I woke up today.
Oh, is that what you texted?
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it too.
Yeah. Actually, never mind.
No, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
I'm so excited to tell you. It was one of those. It was like one of the weirdest moments ever.
Is it specific to me?
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
God. Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I got real frustrated with
the open mic.
Just with there's a ton of comics who were talking about. They're like, oh man, your camera angles make me look really fat, and I'm like,
At most, all comics are fat here. I mean, so it's
tired looking people
and skinny fat too,
which is an insane job because I don't know about you guys. I don't like to eat before I go on stage.
No.
So then you do 2 shows and then you get done and
it's like midnight.
It's midnight or later, and then you're like, okay, what's open? Well, White Castle, and then you eat like garbage,
right?
And then you sleep late or whatever. And let's face it, a lot of comics myself included, get lazy. You can watch, if you go back to the beginning of this episode or the beginning of this podcast, I was probably like 50 pounds lighter than I am right now.
Really?
Maybe, yeah.
How long has this been going?
2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, comedy is a...
It creeps up on you.
It's a bitch, dude.
It's such a great lifestyle.
No, it's not.
Look at my face. I had hair. I was skinny.
You do look better now that you don't look like you're about to storm the Capitol.
I know. I didn't hate the shaved head look. And a lot of people keep asking me, they're like, well, why are you growing it back? And I was like, it wasn't my call.
Really?
Yeah.
You're growing it back?
Yeah. I don't know if you can
barely
see
it.
Well, no, I thought maybe.
But
I mean, maybe you.
Enzo, I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. All right, well, that's it for this
like,
week.
Where's the hair?
I'm just saying, like, I thought maybe you went a couple weeks without getting a haircut or something, but.
I mean, that is also true, but yeah, I am purposely going it back. Rosemary oil, just trying to get it to fill in thicker. It is working. Like, my hairline has come back stronger
than it was previous shave.
Yeah. The rosemary oil really helps. I got this is the gayest conversation I've ever had. But it's like, I got one of those derma rollers. It's like that little roly ball with the spikes on it.
Yeah.
And you just go over your scalp and it pokes like little holes. And then you rub the rosemary oil in. And I'm not going to lie, it works. I thought it was kind of like,
you're like a chia pet.
Yeah. I thought it was like an essential oil bullshit, thing, but it does work. Yeah.
Well, what do you do? Because you shave. I mean, you don't shave, but you're pretty like. Is this as short as you go?
No, I go bald. Yeah, I go bald.
See, you can pull it off.
Yeah.
But you're also not white.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes, like, I get a lot of. You look like Andrew Tate when I cut my hair.
See that. That's
so I got to be careful about that. I just can't be mean to women when I get a haircut. That's like about.
You have to wait like 2 weeks and then you can be an asshole.
When my hair grows in, I'm gonna talk so much shit.
I'm gonna talk about fragile masculinity harder than anybody has ever talked about it.
Yeah, no. So I get it. Halloween. I go to a Halloween party and I just did a show. And so I was late, and I showed up to this Halloween party.
We were working the same.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then I showed up to this Halloween party, and some girl, and everybody's in costume. Some girl pulls me aside. And she's like, "Andrew Tate?" I was like, "Nope, just normal clothes. Like I'm just dressed like me."
It's one of those sobering moments. You're like, "Damn it."
So then I hit her. You know.
I was about to say, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for you to be like, well, yeah, actually, and I think.
Now
by
you're
the way,
my-
let me tell you what I think about your voting rights. That's the thing I can't get over about him is that, like, I can't. I don't know anything about him. I've never watched his podcast or whatever, but you see pictures of him, and he has, like, no jaw. And he's like, well, obviously women are blah, blah. And it's like, dude, nah. Like, just chill. You can't be weak jawed like that. Like, if you came out and you had, like, a thick Batman jaw,
Yeah.
be like, all right, you know, that's one thing. But I just feel like if you have a weak jaw, it's like you shouldn't.
No, I don't think so. And I think 30% of what he says is just fabricated. It's just to get
100%.
attention.
30% is a generous underestimation.
Well, no,
I want to know the 70% that you think is
like he had like a farming of webcam girls that he used to. I mean, he talks about.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the illegal
So-
stuff
oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
been proven.
Oh, you
For
mean
sure.
the sex trafficking
Yeah.
that he
Yeah,
got
yeah.
accused of?
That's
yeah, yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I get it.
All right.
For sure.
But most of it has to be an act, right?
I mean, I think he's part of this new generation, this era of like, I need to be hyper masculine because I'm so insecure about my own deal right now. So all these new alpha bros, like whatever.
Alpha bros.
Alpha bros.
That's a hilarious.
Alpha bros. That
Yeah,
could be a
that's-
sketch. Real alpha bros.
Oh
of,
yeah.
I don't know. Where would alpha bros live? Like Silicon Valley?
Like a frat house in
Like a
Silicon
frat
Valley.
house. Real alpha bros is Sigma Beta Phi or something. I don't know. But no, I mean, he's just one of a dozen, and you know he'll move on, and there'll be another one. It's just this new era of like, I don't understand. Maybe I'm just a huge beta, and I just don't get it.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, I get that.
Clearly.
For
Huge
sure.
pussy.
Yeah.
So
You obviously just don't
huge.
understand.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, speaking of which, I don't know if this is real or fake.
Speaking of huge pussies.
No. Speaking
Now let's talk about it.
yeah, huge. I saw last night that apparently old Donnie T got a new haircut.
Really?
Yeah, he
Oh, I gotta
looks.
see
Yeah,
it.
he looks like a lesbian PE coach now. It's still the blonde like comb over on top, but he kind of like shaved the sides down.
Oh, really?
So it's like
It's
boxy.
European.
It kind of reminds me of Kurt Russell in Little Big Town, or Big Trouble in Little China.
I don't know.
It's
You've
been
never
a long
seen
time
that one?
since I've seen that movie.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Well, here we go.
Do you think the hair's real though? Like it's all
No.
real? That's
Neither it's-
plugs,
No, it's
right?
plugs.
It's
Yeah,
plugs,
yeah. Well, he's done rallies where people were like, "Are you I typed in Donald and it says Trump new haircut. That's the first thing that pops up. Yeah, dude, he looks. It's yeah. Let's see if we can. It's a grainy photo, but you can.
Oh,
wow.
no.
Yeah, see what I mean? It's like on the sides, and like by the time this comes out, everybody's gonna.
It's
have
like
something.
almost mullet because it goes down in the
Yeah.
back.
That's what I'm talking about. Big Trouble. Now, okay.
That's brutal.
Keep that in mind. Keep
Okay.
that in mind. And then we're gonna do.
Wait, he looks like Terry Crews from that movie that he goes into the future and everybody's an idiot.
Idiocracy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that character's name? He was the president, the former wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna kill.
I don't remember his name, but it was Terry Crews. I just
It
remember.
is Terry Crews.
All right. Now that I look at it, it doesn't look as similar, but it's still kind of like.
Kinda.
You know what I mean?
That
Like,
looks
It's less
better.
long. That because he's got the whole feathered thing going.
Well, also, Kurt
that's
Russell,
like
Kurt
hockey.
Russell's just cool, though.
and he's
you know what I mean?
incredibly handsome.
Yeah, I mean, and still,
Still got it.
Still got it, man.
But like he's got that like hockey player hair. Like you guys ever see the all hockey hair team videos? Minnesota high school all hockey hair team. Fantastic. As someone who has a lot of hair, you would appreciate it. So I think it's like every year they get the.
I like how it was just a quick fuck you.
Anyway, fuck your hair. I think it's every year they have in Minnesota. Obviously, high school hockey very very big, but I don't know how they do the voting. But there's a all hockey hair team. So like you have like all state and they have an all state team of the best cuts across the state. And they do this video like every year where they all come and do the like hair flip. Fantastic stuff.
It's like the all name team. You ever hear
the
all name teams?
Yes.
They pick they go to all the colleges roster and they get the best names in the country. Yeah. It's so funny. Some of these names are ridiculous. Like this guy named Squirrel.
Squirrel.
There was the guy named Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid
McKinstry, I think was that guy's name.
Asian.
Really?
No.
Biggest surprise there. Asian
man, I went right for it. Really? Yeah. I know there's a guy that plays for Mizzou's football team, the college, and I'm pretty sure
college.
I'm just making sure. I'm just throwing that out there. Right,
Mizzou College.
A lot of people might not know. All right, just in case.
This is an international podcast, so I do think people need that.
I do have a pretty far reach. I don't know if you know this, but it's no. His last name's Youngblood. I was like, that's dope.
What's up, Youngblood?
That's
Youngblood.
Yeah, that's dope. Which, I used to have a bit about that, but
that's
my favorite. Like, that's my favorite thing to get called. Like
Youngblood.
When somebody's like, "What's up, Youngblood?" You're like, "Hell yeah, man!"
Dude.
But it sucks. The older I get, the less Youngblood I'm getting, and the more like, "What's up, OG?" Like that. And I'm like,
come on, man.
I've graduated from Youngblood to OG. Like, oh no, I'm not aging well. So one of the new things that I've been asking comics is when we come on here is that like every time you do a show, you do like a club weekend or you do, just a random showcase or bar show or whatever, it's like what's the best story from your last show? Because it's like every week there's always somebody, there's always a drunk person, there's always a heckler, there's always a crazy situation or whatever. So do you guys have a
of all time?
No, just like of the last like
I'll tell you one
week or two,
the past weekend I was hosting for Greg Stone. Two things happened. One, he didn't have like a meltdown, but like he was telling people to shut the fuck up in such an aggressive manner, but he.
All right, and cut.
No. Listen, it's good. It's a good thing. He was telling people to shut the fuck up in an aggressive manner, and he told me afterwards that he was getting upset, but everyone kept laughing, and he was like trying to be like stern, but everybody was just like laughing because he was like he's just so funny, and he's like shut the fuck up, and everybody was just laughing.
Okay, all right, that one's acceptable.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I wasn't like.
I thought you were just gonna go hard on this. I was like, I don't know, Greg. I don't know.
No. He was just like. Because this guy was talking and Sam should have kicked him out, but like he was just being so funny to him that everyone else started laughing, but he won't shut up. And then he was like, just shut the fuck up. And then he's like, give me everybody in the crowd, thumbs up or thumbs down if we should kick this person out. And he gave like a Caesar kind of thing.
He gladiated.
Yeah, he did. And everybody was like, so people no, people yes. It's like, all right.
The door guy comes out, just slits his throat.
Drops a check.
We who are about to laugh salute you.
Yeah, so that was nuts.
Drops the check on it. You owe us for 3 buckets.
Yeah. So that was nuts. I've never seen somebody like be mad on stage and then also like get laughs from it. And it was just like, it must have been such a weird sense of emotions going inside you because you're just like literally trying to tell somebody to shut up like aggressively, but he's still killing. Okay. So it was just like.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So the way it started, I was like, "Damn, Enzo, don't like."
No. It was a compliment. It was a compliment because the way he just like, I don't know. It was crazy. And then, to the show before that, I was telling a joke about going into the women's bathroom, and then some woman just said, just yells out of nowhere. It's like, I have Crohn's disease. And I was like, it sounds like you have Tourette's.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a good moment.
And that was nuts.
I did a show in Culin, Missouri at the American Legion.
The Q.
The Q, man.
Let's go, baby.
The Q. And I got booked on it months ago, and then something happened with the original booker, and he wasn't able to be there, and so they tried to fill in. Anyway, it's this venue, and it holds 350 people, and there were 8 in the audience. Yeah, and it was like, oh, okay. But those 8 people were fantastic. So it was like, okay, I'm cool. I'm still cool with
That's
it. Like,
always
whatever.
fun.
We're going to do the show anyway. We're all going to have a good time. Whoever's here, we're going to have fun. And, but I'm supposed to do 25 minutes. I'm 20 minutes in. I'm rounding around to like, all right, I think I'm going to, start a joke to close. I had just done the joke that goes with the merch and done the merch pitch. And I shit you not, 35 drunk people just fill in the back door. Just immediately, I mean, as loud as humanly possible. And to the point where it's like, we had no option but to just stop and watch them like file in. And they would just come from a Christmas party. They were a bunch of teachers, and they came from a Christmas party, and they were like, it's Christmas, Merry Christmas. And there was this one drunk lady, and she came and she just stood like right in front of me and was just looking at me. And I was like, can I help you? And she was like, are you nervous that I'm right here? And I'm like, a little. I don't know what you're going to do. Are you going to attack me or something? And she's like, I just want to hear some jokes. And I was like,
sit down.
Okay, we'll sit down and let's get started. And they literally all went around the bar. They all took a shot and then left. So it was like they filed
just a disruption.
Yeah, just the biggest disruption. And I was like,
Clearly in the middle of a bar crawl.
yeah. And I'm just which is hilarious.
Right.
A bar crawl in Culin, Missouri.
Listen,
because
you
the
gotta
American
crawl.
Legion is the only bar there. So it's like, what do you unless there's a moonshine distillery on a farm somewhere, like this is their one and only stop. Right. But they came in, and it was like we all just kind of paused for a minute, and like they did their thing and then left, and then I was just kind of standing there, and like everybody was like this for the last like 3 minutes, and then they just turned around and they were like, okay, continue. And I'm like, oh, all right,
That's
guys.
nuts.
Like I tried to save it, I was like, oh, are you guys here for comedy? And they were like, no, you're doing comedy? And I was like, no, open your Bible to Matthew 5. And they were just like, and I was like, that's a joke.
Yeah.
This is, whatever. It was weird. Clay, you got
30 teachers in Culin, though. Like, was that
well, I think it was
the grade school, preschool, high school, and college combined?
Yeah.
30 teachers.
Yeah.
What for? What classes? Like, what are we doing?
There's a couple DeVry online teachers, and like a couple. There may be the culinary school. And
I love that. There's such a well-rounded education system.
Imaginary teachers.
Culin. Recently, I have not had any weird. New York was New York. Like, there's just, you walk outside and it's just like people are fucking, pissing in the street and like, pulling their pants down. It's like 2-degree weather and snowing and nothing like. There was, I take this back. There was, I saw a guy on the corner who had a sign that I thought was pretty creative. It was something along the lines of like, sucks dick better than Santa, give me $2, or like something. It was like $2 or something, but sucks dick better than Santa is what stood out to me. Because I don't know.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
Like who is getting their dick sucked by Santa?
Is that a high praise?
I don't know.
Who's-
That's like,
Yeah, who's
and if it's only $2, like, I don't know, something didn't add up
Guilty.
there.
Like,
yeah, Whose dick is Santa sucking?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Well, Vixen, the reindeer.
Yeah.
Got that name.
It's pretty lonely up there.
It's cold on the pole. Son.
Yeah, nothing real crazy though. The craziest one I think I like ever had though was one of the crazier ones happened over the summer. I had a woman come up to me.
I thought you just said
I hit a woman.
I hit a woman came up to me out of the show, and I just said,
"Shut up."
Yeah. We're like, wait, are you Andrew Tate?
Is that Enzo or Andrew Tate? I had a woman come up to me after the show, and she just was talking to me about my stuff. And obviously, I talk about a lot of military political humor as part of my bit, whatever. She's like, oh. I remember when George Carlin was doing a lot of this stuff. I was like, I'm not even in the same breath as that man. She was like, well, I didn't think he was very good. And I was like,
cool.
I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say to that? Like, George Carlin. So, like, the whole time I'm clarifying, like, George Carlin, like, one of the pinnacles of stand-up comedy you don't think is good. She's like, no, I used to watch him, but I didn't really like his stuff. And I was like, this makes no sense. Yeah. But that one happened over the summer.
So then you hit her.
And then I pushed her down. I
think on behalf of George Carlin, I think everybody would be okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a lady say something like that to me one time. She was like, you kind of remind me of Anthony Jeselnik. And I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, I hate Anthony Jeselnik. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Sweet.
Cool, thanks. I appreciate it. You could have just said nothing.
Right.
And we would have been great.
A couple of months back, I went to an open mic, and it was an open mic where you could do music and comedy. And one older gentleman went up, and he was reading like something that he wrote, something about history. And
there used to be separate water fountains, and it was better,
bro. He said the N-word.
Of course he did.
3 times. Yeah. Hard R, too.
Hard R.
And then after the first time he said it, everybody's like, "What?" And then the second time, he's like, all right. If he says, and then he said it the third time, then they take him out. He's like, what? I'm just telling history. And he's like just shuffling because he's so old. Then right after him is like an all black jazz band. And then they were just like amazing and they rocked out. And then it was me. And I was just like, I told him, I was like, let me get that speech again.
So I said the N-word 4 times.
It's like, I need to finish this man's speech. This guy was saying some good stuff over here.
Well, it's kind of like an accurate depiction of history, right? Like for a long time, there was just white guys saying the N-word, and then jazz came along, and we were like, hey.
And then some Spanish dudes. Like,
and then Spanish guys. Yeah, that's America in a nutshell, guys.
Yeah.
I never understand that. There's always somebody. There's always a person who's like, I'm gonna say the most offensive thing possible, and they're gonna carry me out on their shoulders. I know it.
Yeah.
I know as soon as I drop the worst word in the English dictionary, people are gonna be like, we've never seen such bravery before. And they're like,
just king you.
Yeah, and just like they think that do they think like all the black people would be like, finally, someone had the guts,
someone had the courage.
Like, no.
It's like Shane Gillis bit about the slavery movies. It's like, can you guys stop making slavery
who's
movies?
this for?
I thought this was no, we don't like it.
You guys like this?
I don't like it.
So I'm gonna go through. I've started reading comments off from some of the videos,
Love
and then
that.
we try to pick the best comment of the week. I had I put out a clip. JC and I were talking about the best on-screen death, and he said Samuel L. Jackson from Deep Blue Sea. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's a movie.
Been a while. He gets eaten. I know that.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But they're in an underwater research lab, like researching. They make like genetically enhanced sharks or whatever, and basically Samuel L. Jackson's
Like
given this
Robo
monologue.
Sharks?
No, like they like
Lasers on top of
Like
them?
a Jurassic Park situation where like they're dinosaurs, but they're like souped up.
They like souped them up,
Yeah.
and it's like they're sharks that can do unlimited amount of that, whatever. And he's giving this like rally speech of like, we're gonna get out of here and we're gonna, like rally the troops monologue, big saying, and right in the middle of it, a shark just comes out of nowhere and just grabs him and then like goes back under the water, like you know, like alligators like grab things and pull it down. It was like that, and it's so random and so like
out of nowhere
that like they made it to be scary, but now watching it, you're like, what the hell? Like,
poor Samuel,
and then he's just gone. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. But a lot of people were commenting, and let's see, Shane McGinnis said, I am terrified of sharks, and I think I watched that movie way too young. Freaked me out more than Jaws, but that's a pretty good pick. So, and then let's see, this is the one I meant to read. Sorry, Shane, but this is one I actually meant to read. At C. Dago, which that might be a slur. I don't know.
That's my people.
The director from Tropic Thunder when he steps on the landmine. That's a pretty good one.
That's a great one.
That really sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Because I remember watching that. He's like, go out there and make your masterpiece. And they're like,
Ben Stiller's like, this is nothing but corn syrup.
Corn syrup and starch, guys. Movie magic. And of course, Robert Downey Jr., who's playing a black guy, is like, hey, man, this motherfucker dead. Like, it's so funny to me. I would argue that in the one of the things that I would argue is that in the movie Mean Girls, Regina,
getting hit by a bus.
Regina George, and people are like, oh, but she didn't die, and it's like, no, she didn't. But in the moment, you think she does, because Lindsay Lohan goes, and that's how she died.
Yeah,
and everybody's like. And then she's like, just kidding, actually. And then it shows her and she's in like a neck brace, you know? Like, and so I think that is a great on-screen death.
I saw 3:10 to Yuma last night.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah.
The original or the remake with Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe and Christian Bale.
Yeah,
that's so good.
It's so good. It was the second time I saw it because I loved it the first time I saw it a second time. And the ending when he gets shot at the very end.
Yeah.
And then Russell Crowe just kills everyone and puts himself in the...
Spoiler alert. It's a 15-year-old movie. It's all right. It's all right. But it is fantastic.
Yeah.
I love... I'm not going to lie. That scene makes me cry a little bit. When they're in the hotel and Christian Bale like goes up to his son. He's like, I want you to remember... When everybody else ran away, your pa went and put him on the train, and he's like, yes, Pa, like that. And I was like,
oh my god,
your daddy did the right thing, boy. Like,
dude, I know the whole movie is about having a good dad. And it's like someone that didn't have one. It's just like, God damn.
I don't know if you've gotten the context of it yet, but so in the movie, Christian Bale only has one leg or 1 foot, and I got it shot off in the war. They're like, oh, where at? And he's like, the Battle of Washington, D.C.
But he was like retreating.
He was running away. Yeah. He got shot by his own guys for being a coward.
Yeah.
And so his whole life he had to live with like, hey, this guy's a coward. Yeah. And so he's like, he can tell, like his son doesn't respect him and like all that. And so he does all this to be like, no, I am a good man.
I'm not a pussy.
Like, it's just like,
oh, man.
Yeah, so good.
Such a good movie.
I was going to say G-Baby.
G-Baby.
That one.
From Hardball?
First time I saw it, the first time I saw that movie, I was probably too young to see that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say it first so people know what we're talking about.
Okay, well, in Hardball,
all
right, Keanu Reeves goes in and coaches an underprivileged inner city black baseball team
from Chicago.
He's an alcoholic. He's got a gambling problem.
Which, by the way, is how John Wick started.
Yeah.
Baby G died, and then he went.
Okay, first of all, it's G-Baby.
G-Baby.
Put some respect on it. But when G-Baby dies, because there's like a shootout in front of an apartment. I don't know if you know it, but it's young Michael B. Jordan. Is the other kid. And he's like, oh man, all right, come on, G-Baby, let's go inside. G-Baby. And you start shaking him, and you look, and you just see the little red hole or whatever, and you're like, "Oh no!" Like that. And then of course it goes back. They go to the funeral, and it goes back and retells the story about how G-Baby hit a home run or whatever. And I was like, just heartbreaking.
The
The
You know what I
shooting
mean?
and then the funeral scene, which was like, because all the kids are crying, and then you have Keanu Reeves crying. That
Yeah.
was just a lot.
I mean, when he hit that ball, it was like, whoa.
That also reminds me of Boys in the Hood.
Oh yeah,
Ricky gets shot.
yeah, Ricky.
Oh no!
I haven't seen that movie. in a
And he
long
had
time.
That
he
movie,
had
yeah.
the paper at home. He got
Yeah.
accepted to USC for a full ride.
Yeah. I love it when the recruiter comes to his house or whatever, the college scout comes to his house and he's like, "Oh, whose baby is that?" And he's like, "It's mine." And then he goes, "Oh."
Yeah. Oh man.
That's
So wait, what's the one
on the left?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know that one.
the one you don't know. Never Ending Story.
Oh,
I've never seen that.
You never
that's
seen
right.
Never Ending
the
Story?
horse
Oh, dude.
sinks in the swamp.
Okay, so it's a fantasy tale about a kid who has to go on a journey, and then like you have to cross through the swamp of sadness, and literally what it is
Every day.
yeah, it's just your 30s.
Just me
It's
going
me
to
waking
work.
up every day.
He's just every time he takes a step, someone hands him a bill. It's like, hey, by the way, your property taxes are due.
Right.
Every time you drive to work, there's just your ride from the swamp of sadness.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that like the horse gets sad and just stops and like sinks and drowns,
Oh.
and he's like pulling the reins. It's like, come on, you stupid horse, you gotta try, come on, like that. And the horse is just
stop
like,
it.
meh. And it's like,
I'm tearing up right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm really into horses right now. So like hearing that is fucking.
We should circle back to that for sure.
yeah, okay, a plot twist. Enzo's a horse girl now.
It's equestrian.
It's a question.
Yeah, no, I'm really into horses right now.
That's when we find out your fiance punches you in the face.
in the
It's
back
not
of
even
the head.
actual horses. It's just the whole like aspect of
Yeah,
being
instead of a
horse.
donkey punch, it's a horse punch. It's just getting punched in the nose.
Yeah, it's when your girl breaks your nose.
Just got to break you in, dude.
So
Yeah.
what kind of like horse dancing,
No, just
dressage?
more like horseplay.
We find out he's into hobby
Yeah.
horsing. The horses on the
Didn't know if he was
sticks.
like a big Yellowstone guy
He likes to
or
jump
what?
over like couches at home
Well,
with a broomstick.
okay, I'm really into horses right now because I went to Patagonia, and when I went to Patagonia, the region, not the department store, we went on this ranch, and it was an all-day thing. We went on this ranch, and one of the events that we did was we rode horses,
Nice.
and we were riding horses through like this beautiful valley. It was like a hidden valley ranch. And,
I'm so mad that you just you need the
You
drums. Just
son
add
of a bitch.
just add the drums and post right there, but pause it out. Neither one of us react. I want you to sit there and think about what you just did.
Oh, the last episode I did was with Anthony Schaefer, and he made a joke, and we just sat in silence for like 15 seconds afterwards. I was like, "Does this feel good? Like, do you like this?
You proud of what you just did
Yeah,
there?
you happy with that? Yeah."
Hidden Valley Ranch.
So, and we're riding in this ranch, and it's like we're just on these horses. And I microdosed a little bit of mushroom beforehand, and hey, I was really connected to this horse. Like I was so connected.
What does that mean, though?
Like I felt what he
Like,
felt.
were you giving it a hand job? or something?
It's like Avatar.
Like, yeah.
Dude, exactly. That's exactly how I felt. Yeah.
Except
He's
you
just
don't
like
have any
rubbing
hair.
his body up against the horse like it's so soft.
The horse,
mane.
it was so smart, and it listened to me. It was called Freshwater. It was, and he was just like so smart, and he would like
Yeah,
anything I would tell it would do it, and I just felt really connected.
In
to this
Patagonia, though, wouldn't it be like aqua fresca or something
horse. Yeah,
like
it's
that?
agua fresca.
Aqua fresca?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Duolingo.
Yeah. Now we go to our ad reads from Duolingo.
Yeah.
That's something that
horses.
you could do is just teach comics Spanish and then just get this show sponsored by Duolingo.
Well, first of all, I don't think most comics are smart enough.
Yeah.
all right?
Well, that's
Hey,
the
I
funny
struggle
part.
with
If you
English.
didn't
and
grow,
how fast it
There's
is.
a lot of comics where I'm like, let's work on English. Yeah. Before we get into all the other stupid
So
stuff.
if I watch that movie on the left, I will cry because that is.
That horse fucking dies for
and then
sure.
also the giant robot.
Giant
movie?
robot.
Is that
Iron
Oh,
Giant?
Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Giant. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a long time. I mean,
That
kid
one-
movie, but
I'll tell you, I'll tell you the first time I really cried in a movie, and really cried was Rudy. Dude,
I hate Rudy.
I
so
know.
much.
I hate it now, but when I was growing up and I was like 9, and all I wanted to do was play football, and I watched Rudy, I would just cry. It's like, I just want to be so good at football, and it was really gay. But the fact that I was just like
So gay for football.
I just want to be like Rudy.
This is for Rudy, coach.
This is for Rudy.
Yeah. And at that point, because I was so bad at football at that point, like I was like terrible. But yeah, that's the first time I really cried. In A Walk to Remember. That was the second time.
Pay It Forward with Haley Joel Osment, Kevin Spacey, Helen Hunt. When little dude gets shanked at the end, lost it.
Yeah.
Lost it.
You don't
That
know
entire
how much-
movie is depressing as hell. Such
Yeah.
a good movie if
Yeah,
you haven't
that's
seen
one
it.
of those movies where you're like, surely it's going to turn around.
No,
surely it's going to turn around.
it gets bad all the way to the very end, and then it's just pervert Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. He paid it forward
Right, he
so
paid it
much.
for- like that was the takeaway. Is like Haley Joel Osment gets shanked and Kevin Spacey's a perv the whole time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Now it's just an autobiography.
it's to find out he's a method actor.
Right.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's like even with like young Helen Hunt, there wasn't any like chemistry.
No.
And then when he came out, it was like, well, I'm a homosexual. Everybody's like, what? And it's like, dude, you had 35-year-old Helen Hunt in front of you, and you were like,
35-year-old
I'd rather have a
white
young
trash
boy.
Helen Hunt
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
faded jeans Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
You know.
Helen Hunt was a looker, man.
She was. Oh.
In Twister?
Twister, I was just gonna say it. That was one of my formative young adult movies. We'll say that.
yeah.
Where, like you watched it and you were like, I'm not an adult man yet, but like something's
This is doing something for me.
like something's going on here. You know, like
If we're talking about on-screen crushes, I just got to bring it up because Rick and I were talking about this last night. That Topanga from Boy Meets World.
brother.
forget about it.
I mean, top 5 all-time
yeah.
on-screen crushes, and it's like it's so weird because, like seeing her now, she's in her 40s, maybe even 50s or whatever. Like probably 40s. She's still.
maybe 50s. Bro.
No, because I'm not. Because okay, here's how I know.
She can't be that old because I'm not that old.
Yeah. So when I was like 9, I remember there was an episode of Boy Meets World where she got a new haircut and she was like 13.
Yeah.
And I remember as a little 9-year-old boy being like, that's a woman.
Yeah.
Like being like,
Whoa.
Yeah. So she can only be a couple years older than me.
Did you ever see the music video from Childish Gambino when Topanga's in it?
No.
What?
Yeah. It's like maybe 10 years old, and Topanga's like late 30s, and she's in that music video. You looked at your phone like you're like, I'm gonna look it over right now.
She was just in one with
You're like
more recently with somebody else, maybe Jack Harlow.
Really?
I think he has a song called Topanga.
oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
I want to.
I think that's it. Am I making that up? Let me look that up.
You were
Dialogue.
If you said Topanga,
Yeah.
I would shut these cameras
I wanted
off.
to.
I know.
And I
I
was
could
like,
see it. I could
shit.
see it in your
That's
face.
so
And I was like,
stupid.
don't you. Don't. After your Hidden Valley, you're on.
Damn it.
That's one. All right.
Yeah, one more, you're out of here.
Hold on, I'll look it up. I swear to God, I saw that though.
Oh, man. She was. Because we were talking about, like, The Sandlot. And I was saying that Wendy Peppercorn never really did it for me.
What
I
a
never
silly name.
Well, yeah, but it's like she was like, you know, that was the whole thing. Like I knew so many guys that were like, "Oh, dude, Wendy Peppercorn is so hot," and I was like,
Wendy is such a mom name,
Wendy.
like an older woman's name.
Yeah.
Do you know any? I don't know a single woman
I know a
do.
redhead
in her
Wendy.
30s.
She's
I don't know
super
any
hot.
Wendy's.
The redhead Wendy. Come on, man. I'm here all night.
He's doing fast food and ranch. Yeah, 2022. Come home, the kids miss you. She was in Jack Harlow 2 years ago. Look it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Look it up.
"All right."
Oh wait,
That's so funny. It's like if this song's called "Come Home," the kids miss you, and you turn it on. It's Topanga just like twerking and like shaking her ass or whatever. You're
That
like,
would be the best
"Ah."
music video ever.
This isn't what I thought it was, but
I'm in it.
I'm not.
I'm
Yeah.
into it.
yeah, I'm not turning it off.
I don't hate this.
Yeah,
10 million views overnight. You know.
easy.
Shout out to Panga.
Shout out.
wherever you are.
The whole crew of Boy Meets World. What a show.
What a show! Yeah, Mr. Feeney.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Jumper?
Yeah.
That girl in Jumper, that was like one of my first crushes. I don't know why. The girl from Jumper, and I watched that movie so many times because
I don't
that's
know who-
literally my preferred superpower. Is just being a teleport.
That would be sick.
Yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson just trying to catch me all the time. Two fantasies in one. Dude.
I don't know if I could live with that fear my entire life. Samuel just on the hunt.
Rachel Bilson.
Yeah,
Is that her name?
I guess.
Is this her? I mean,
Yeah,
IMDb
yeah,
says it's
yeah,
her, so it is.
That's
but-
her. So I was really into her because I don't know what I think maybe she reminded me of a school crush that I had, but that one was like, oh, I like girls.
Yeah. There you
I
go.
like
'Cause it was
girls.
a toss up.
Yeah.
You remember when you were young? It's like, am I gay? No, me neither.
I still think that today. I woke up this morning, looked in the mirror, and was like, am I gay?
You know what? The only thing I didn't like about Jumper is that they set it up for a sequel, and then there was never a sequel.
Yeah,
and I was
right.
like, I enjoyed the movie. Like, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Meh. I would honestly, I mean, look, if we're going to get weird, all right, let's get weird.
Okay.
And one of the biggest crushes I've ever had in my entire life was Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger
that's not
Rabbit.
weird at all.
That's not weird at all, dude.
Is it? Okay.
No.
I think
I mean,
every boy.
I think it's weird that they made that cartoon so sexy.
Yes,
to
that
begin
was
with.
weird.
dude.
She was way too provocative for.
If we were to search who made that
Horniest
character,
person ever.
Oh, I can only imagine. He just looks like a.
Can
World
you
of
imagine the
Warcraft.
day they were like, all right, so what we need is the main character's a rabbit.
Yeah.
All right, so let's make that, but it can't look like Bugs Bunny. He's like, all right, what if we gave him clown shoes? And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. And they're like, what about his wife? And he's like, well, I've got this sketch. And they're like,
Where did you get that?
Jeff, can I talk to you for a second? This is a kid's movie. He's like, yeah. I'm thinking bigger boobs.
Yeah.
Dude,
You're right. Bigger tits.
dude, my wife's a redhead, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see like a red sparkly dress or something, I'm kind of like, I mean,
Put it on.
do you
Put it on.
right now.
put it in the bag? We're taking this home. Yeah, dude. Oh man, Jessica, and honestly, Nala from Lion King.
Something weird about it. I like it though.
That's weird.
I know.
There's one specific scene.
Where she's laid up on her back. You whore.
Everyone
You
knows.
whore.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
It was. I guarantee.
Simba's just all up in that, and
Dude,
you're just like, yep, that's where I want to be.
They just met for the first time. They're
Just
like
tossing and
teenagers now,
turning.
and they're like rolling around.
Yeah.
And then she's on her back, and she just goes
Yeah, she's
like
like.
that. Like, are we doing this?
Those are the-
And I remember. I
Which,
just.
by the way, not the proper way they should be doing it. You know.
They
No.
should- yeah,
Like,
they were doing
I
it
don't-
human style.
Yeah. We didn't understand that the first time that came out, but like as you become an adult, you're like,
And then when
that's
they
not
made
right.
they made the like live action Lion King, and they were like, "Oh, Beyonce's gonna do the voice," and I was like,
Okay,
Beyonce.
this can get
Is she- but-
sexier.
okay, she's gonna do the voice, but will she do the look?
Yeah,
you know what I
she's
mean.
gotta
Like
do.
everybody loves.
Wait, it's. Yeah. No, never mind.
There was so many kids all across America that went to watch that movie with their parents, and then that scene happened and went, "Oh,
Oh,
whoa,
what is
Yeah.
this?
is this puberty?" Because I think I just hit it. So what I wanted to do is this is going to come out, I think either New Year's Day or the day before New Year's Eve or something like that.
Happy New
So,
Year.
Yeah, we should
Happy
have,
New
like
Year.
little hats and stuff.
Yeah,
I got a gun I could fire off.
Despot.
Despot. Yeah, where's your last Despot play?
1997. June
September
19
08.
I just saw that movie recently too.
Dude, so
That
horny.
movie, dude. That movie.
Criminally slept on.
Oh
movie.
my god! It's
One
so
of my
good.
absolute favorite parts is when they find the impounded Prius.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy's just riffing off of what happened. He's like, well, a mother raccoon gave birth back there, and
Dirty Mike and the
Dirty
boys.
Mike and the boys.
yeah,
Thanks for the
we had
punch.
a group of homeless men back here having an orgy. They call it a soup kitchen. They left this note. Thanks for the F Shack. Dirty Mike and the boys.
Have you ever seen the outtakes from that?
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
he came up. I think there may have been like 10 to other 15 variations, and every single one, like they just break down because it's so funny.
Yeah, because
funny.
I saw that because I remember. So Will Ferrell's notorious for like almost never breaking. Like he's
Improv
like
king.
he's so good at just like staying in character but making other people break. But if you watch the outtakes, Mark Wahlberg, like every 3 seconds is like, like, just losing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it when Mark Wahlberg meets his wife.
Yeah.
And I was like, seriously, who is she?
Seriously.
Dr. Sheila Gamble. It's-
Bye, Sheila. Bye, Sheila. Okay, Terry. Bye, Sheila. That's so funny.
I don't think he heard me. See ya.
There's a darkness inside of me. It wants to get out. It wants
Gator.
some walking around money. Gator don't play no shit.
Gators, when she says she's pregnant, he goes, Gators bitches better be wearing Jimmy's.
Who did this? Who did this to you? Gators bitches better be wearing Jimmy's.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't like just quote movies.
Yeah, we're riffing on movies.
That's
It's
fine,
early.
man. It is what it is.
2025 though. We're
Oh yeah, what are you saying?
What were you saying?
releasing this on.
it's releasing New Year's.
Oh, New Year's. I was just gonna say, all right, just like what was one of the best things that happened to you this year? Do you have a? Both of you are like, well, it's a pretty low point.
Yeah, it wasn't a great. I met both of you guys this year.
This
Which is pretty sick. Not to be sentimental.
Where are high point? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was not a great year for me. To be honest with you guys, tough one. 2024, not my best.
a little rough.
Yeah. No, meeting a lot of cool people since I moved back on the comedy scene in St. Louis. It's been really nice.
And some not so cool.
And some not so cool people.
Yeah, but
but
that's all right.
90%, you know? That's the best you can hope for.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
A win is a win.
Win is a win.
Yeah, I guess staying on the term of comedy, I think this year has been pretty big just because I like, I'm getting booked a little bit more, which is not the big deal, but the big deal is like seeing the overall image of what this could be. And it's a little more like reassuring that I'm not wasting my time.
Like your career,
every night.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more
That's
like
exactly what I was gonna say.
yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, this could be something if I want it to be, and it's not more like, oh, I'm just going to open mic at stands, for 3 hours or whatever. It's supposed to, there's a purpose behind it, and I'm starting to view, and it's happening when these road comics are coming back around, and they're coming back around. It's like, oh, I remember you. It's like, you're still doing comedy. It's like, what do you want a guest spot? And then it's like, oh, here's my number. And it's just like, oh, now you start like the more you're in, and then you start connecting with more people, and then you're like, oh, this isn't for nothing. Because in the beginning, it feels like, what the hell am I doing?
It feels
Casting
like
a
the
rod
world's
into the
most
ocean.
expensive hobby.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Emotionally taxing,
Yeah.
taxing, like mentally, physically, and it's just kind of like, what am I doing? But
Am I
then-
wasting my time? Am
And
I?
I still could be, but now I at least see like, oh,
I
there's
say
a-
I still think about that
Which-
once or twice a week.
Well, without calling out names, I think we all know some people that are kind of wasting their,
Well-
and it's like, okay, am I one of these people?
Yeah.
Would I recognize it if it was me?
I know.
Like, can I
That's
do this?
I was talking to a younger comic the other night about this who was kind of in the same boat of just like, hey, like I've been doing this for like 6 to 8 months. I don't know what comes next. And I was like, dude, it's okay to not know what comes next. Like that's what half of this is. Like if you think anybody here has got it figured out, like you're
none
sorely
of it.
mistaken. Like we're all at various points. But the other thing I told him to keep in mind too is like what you do spend that first year learning is like, okay, what do I want to do with this? Is this just a hobby for me? Because a lot of the people that we know, I think it's safe to say like, yes, they're probably not pursuing professional comedy in any way, but they're cool people to hang out with. They like just coming to shoot the shit. They like telling jokes. Like it's a
God, what a shitty hobby.
I mean, there's other hobbies.
This would be a shitty fucking
It would be a shitty hobby,
there's
but we're in a different spot. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like people are in different spots in their life where it's like, hey, this is their night out, or like this is their
This is
social
their bowling
right?
league.
Like this is their bowling league.
That's a good point.
And it's important to, and I have to remind myself that too. Is like, you know, when you're looking at people like, oh, what the fuck is this person doing? It's like having a night out. Like this is their turn on the bowling lane. Like. Give them that time, and then you guess what? You don't see them, you know, for months at a time, and like that's okay.
It is weird though. That I was telling somebody this is that comedy's the only job where someone can quit and you don't realize it for months.
Yeah,
You know, like if we worked in like an office and all of a sudden Enzo, we'd be like, "Hey, where's Enzo today?"
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, he quit last night."
Yeah.
We'd be like, "What? He's
Yeah.
gone? No way!" But it's like people just stop showing up to like shows or open mics, and then eventually one day you'll just sit there and you'll be like.
Where's
Hey, do you remember that one guy? He had that joke about his penis looked like this
Yeah.
or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever happened to that dude?" And like, I don't know, man. I kind of liked him. He was cool,
Yeah.
cool dude, you know. And then it's just that's it. They're just
Yeah.
gone. And
Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is.
yeah, I would say the best thing that happened to me this year is, like you said, within the last 5 months, it went from an expensive hobby to, oh, I can make a little bit of money doing this, and I've booked more shows than I ever have this year, and next year looks like it's gonna continue. Knock on wood,
So-
you know. But yeah,
And it's just
then-
it's scratching the surface. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like there's so many different ways to make an income through comedy. Whether it's we're talking about sponsorships, talking about shows. I think that's it.
actually, there's not that many ways to make
There's
money
so many
doing
ways
comedy.
to make money doing comedy. There's
I think to your point, like there's different avenues. You have podcasts, YouTube, you have stand-up, you have people who do improv, you have newsletters like I start. Like it's there are different avenues to where it doesn't have to be just like, hey, everyone's out here shooting for a fucking Netflix special. You know, like it's
That's
all
another
about
thing.
what you want to do with comedy and the impact you want to make, if any impact.
Being clear on what you want
yeah.
is huge.
Yeah.
Because like I was talking to Greg about this. Is like if you want to be famous, just post every day and you'll get famous.
Yep.
But if you want to be a good comedian, you don't have to. Yeah, well, for life, you have to do it for life. But like, you got to be. Do you want to be like a great comedian? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to be rich? Like, what do you want out of this? Because it is such a broad brush to use that if you're not like consistent in what you are shooting for, it's really easy to get lost. It's very, very easy to get lost. And I feel lost. I don't know what I want. Like, I don't know if I want, like, I want to be great at comedy, but I also want there to be people to watch me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I started this podcast. The only reason I started it was to be like, I want people to be able to get to know me, and I don't want to burn material. Like I don't do a ton of crowd work. You know what I mean? And I don't want to just give away jokes. Like I want you to come see me live. Like I'm much better at that than I am at this.
Yeah.
But the only reason I do this
Definitely.
is to find.
Terrible podcaster.
Hey, it's okay.
And we'll be right back with the best featuring Eric Russler.
We'll be right back with the
Featuring the
worst.
wor-
The best featuring the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's, I mean, 100%, man. I don't know. I get so frustrated with this, and every time I try something, I feel like I'm finding 6 new ways that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then you pivot, and you try again, and you pivot, and you try again, and you just like, so every day I'm just throwing out clips online, just throwing it at the wall. And they're like, hey, I don't even get excited anymore, like when one does well. You know, like I've had 3 different videos get over 1 million views. And the best thing that happened to me is when I saw one go over 1 million, because this whole time I'm like, oh, if I could just get one to 1 million, man, that would be great. If I could just get, past that threshold, that's going to be awesome. And then it happened, and I felt nothing at all. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't care anymore. And so now I just like throw things and move on. And it's like, it is what it is.
Which is good because now you're focused on the system instead of the
Yeah.
results.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
progress happens. If you focus on if you're result oriented, sure, that's good. But if you're only like measuring your success based on your results, then that is a very volatile metric to live off.
It's a dangerous path to go
is,
down
because
because
if
then you
you-
start chasing views rather than
The system.
the
And if
system.
you
Well,
just-
yeah.
And like my thought process is like you start posting, you continue to post, and let's say you get a couple that go 1 million, and then it's like it's gonna keep happening more often, and then they'll start looking at your old stuff, and then everything starts rising. And I mean, I don't know anybody in this scene that has been as consistent with the podcast that you have, so it's like you got to take that with some pride,
Yeah.
because nobody
You're
here,
weekly.
nobody here. I mean, I've tried to do a podcast with Ben and Jack, and it's like once a month.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
It's really hard.
And it like hard. You know what I mean?
No, it's work.
It's just, it is work, but it's I don't know. I just get, I don't know. I get annoyed when I hear people be like, podcasting's hard. And it's like, yeah, I'm not mining lithium, okay? Like,
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, I'm not in a cobalt, like, slave worker. You know what I mean? It's just, it's grueling because you do put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into something. And, let's be honest, a lot of money into equipment and desks and furniture, and then everybody, then you put it online and everybody's like, I hate this is stupid, I hate you, I hate everybody, I hate your family, you're stupid and fat and gay, and like, you know what I mean? And you're just like,
Some of those things are true.
That's just from his wife.
Right, like that's
yeah, exactly, yeah.
No, and then you don't know. And then the frustrating thing about this is like you do all the right things, and then
Yep.
it doesn't go well.
Yep.
You don't know why.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why? Just tell me what I'm doing
And
wrong.
you never get the answer.
Yeah.
You just keep going, and you just,
Yeah.
But that's art. You know, this
It
is technically
it's
an
a
art.
subjective world
Yeah, it's
that we
it.
live in.
yeah. So I don't know. I love doing comedy, and I don't necessarily love doing this. But this
I'm having a great time.
this yeah,
I've had some really good conversations this morning.
This has been one of the more fun
Yeah.
times of late. But doing this has allowed me to do that
Yep.
way more than I ever got to before.
Yep.
And now I'm like, okay, I kind of see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is the like work to get to what I want to.
Yeah.
My whole goal in the military, like somebody told me, do what you have to so that you can do what you want to, and if you do what you have to, you will have the freedom to do what you want to. And so that's been
That's great
my
advice.
whole motto with
Yeah.
this is like, do what I have to do what I want, you know. And it's like it's when I have to buy a new cord, or when I have to get a better computer, or I have to, you know, whatever it might be, fix the lights or rearrange the furniture until 6 a.m., you know, do what you have to so you can do what you want to. And
Yeah.
I don't know. What
That's
is
very
it?
introspective of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I don't know how introspective, because, well, if you would have caught me about 6 hours ago when I was in here,
Fuck
I would have been like, I hate the studio. I hate this furniture. I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, speaking of the studio, I really like the vibe.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
I
good
wasn't
vibe
sure
right now.
when I
Yeah.
walked in. I was like, "This looks a little clunky." But
I don't
now
feel
that
too
we
close to
no,
him.
now
Like,
that
this
we
is-
sit here, this could probably you could get a little bit more space, which I think but like
We're
I think
gonna-
you
we're gonna-
got something going here.
It's so weird because it is an awkward sized room.
Yeah.
And all of the outlets are on the wall behind me. None of them are on the other side of the room. But the cameras have to be on the other side of the room, and the lights have to be on the other side of the room, and the TV has to be on the other side of the room. But
You couldn't have just flipped this whole thing?
you can, but then you have like it would have all the cords for like the microphones would be like running across the room. So trust me, we tried this every single way. We tried like an L shape, we tried a T shape, We tried a V shape on the other side. Then we put it back here. Then we tried it in the corner. Then we tried it here. And then we were like, all right, we'll have everybody come through that door instead of this door. And then
I didn't even know that was a door.
it was it was infuriating. Like we were both profusely sweating just from moving things like an inch this way and then an inch that way and then back and then forth. And then it was infuriating. But whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that it's working out.
good.
It seems like it's fun, and I just need to get. The only thing I have left to do is I need to get a longer. Nobody cares about this, but I have to get a longer HDMI cable to get that TV to work, to go off here so everybody can see the screen.
That's a $15 fix.
Yeah, that's a $15 fix. I've got an extra roll of grass back there. I'm thinking I'm gonna put it on here.
On the desk?
Why?
To dampen some of the noise, because I don't know if you've noticed, but like it's loud when people move drinks, when people move the mics.
Will people be able to put drinks
yeah,
on?
yeah. I'm gonna put.
I would just get like a placemat or something.
Yeah.
That grass seems like it'd be itchy to put your arms on,
Yeah,
and
it
like
might
kind
be
of
tough.
it would. I guarantee you, it makes noise when you rub your hand across it.
Yeah.
See, here we go.
You're-
Make one step, and everybody's like, this is stupid. I
Well,
hate
no,
it.
I think
I'm trying to
what
help.
you're saying is good. Just don't put grass
Yeah,
on a table.
I think the idea is good. The material
Yeah.
that you're using is wrong.
Yeah.
Good initiative,
Yeah.
bad judgment.
It's like
right?
your setup is fantastic, but your punchline needs work.
Yeah.
It's the greatest premise in the world, and then I just dive to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what do you guys have? What is like the best New Year's Eve tradition? Do you guys have
We
one?
got some crazy ones. Some
Yeah, you
Hispanic
probably have.
ones.
I was about
Better
to
than
say,
I do.
yeah.
I don't.
Well, you guys ever you know the grapes, right?
The grapes?
You don't know about the grapes?
of wrath, or like
No. The grapes. And on New Year's, right when the ball drops, you got to have 12 grapes with you for every month of
Just
the
like
year.
grocery store.
Yeah, just
green,
grocery store
red
grapes. And then
Okay.
you have to eat one, and you have to ask for 12 things that you want to happen on January, February, March, April. You just eat a grape, and you're just like shoving 12 grapes down
is
your
this like a
throat.
chubby bunny situation where you've
No,
got them
you
all
ha-
in your
no.
arm? I want a new car.
No,
Like,
you just eat them.
I want a hot wire. Like, what are you?
No, you just eat the grapes for every month of the year, and what you want for every month is like you want money, you want this, that, and the other. And then here's another one, which is I think only Venezuelans do this. It's nuts, and I've done this. I mean, all growing up until recently. At New Year's, you get a
Pregnant?
you get a suitcase.
That's my hope
Sorry.
for 2025.
You get a suitcase and you get your passport and you run in the street and you're like start celebrating running the street with your suitcase and passport so you can encourage the universe to give you more travels.
Okay.
And that's kind of like a weird thing that Venezuelans do. You just start running in the street with your passport and your suitcase, and that's
I'm pretty sure if I did that on the south side of St. Louis, I
Hey
would,
man, shut the fuck up.
I would not make it back home. Like, it
This
was-
is my culture.
Yeah,
it's my
yeah.
tradition. But I don't give a fuck about
yeah,
it.
like my passport and bag would be stolen for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting though. So, if you
That
were
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
the 12 grapes, where does that?
I have no idea.
Odd tradition.
That's some of those things you just tell you and like,
Yeah.
that's just what I do.
Well,
White people just don't have.
Yeah, I was about
we
to
have like
say.
Thanksgiving and like
the whites.
Yeah.
What my grandmother always did was she always made us eat black eyed peas because she said that was good luck, and we hated black eyed peas. They were gross and mushy and cold and whatever. And she would always tell us, she was like, you'll get $1 for every black eyed pea you eat. And we were like, hell yeah. So one time I ate like 200 black eyed peas because I was like, I'm going home with some money.
Yeah.
And I told her that. And she goes, yeah, at some point during this year, you'll get $200.
Grandma, goddamn.
And
it,
I was
this is
like-
bullshit.
I hate you old broad. Whatever. But like, no. Yeah, that's the only tradition. I mean, other than like the kiss at midnight or whatever. But do you have like a...
You curse your grandma at midnight?
Yeah. Come here, Dolores.
get over here.
Yeah. I'm going to kiss you like the war ended. Let's go.
Just Navy sailor stuff.
This is fucking.
Yeah. I I'm not a big like New Year's guy. I'll be honest. Like the older I get, like I'm just like,
You're just trying to stay
Well,
away.
it's-
My
Somebody-
thing too is my birth. So this is what sucks. Is my birthday is the 8th of January, so I get stuck in this weird like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Everyone fucking is so over the holidays by the 5th.
This is
And
what he
then-
was talking about, by
Yeah.
the way.
Pam, pam, pam.
I can hear
Just
it.
how
I'm
passionate I
like-
am
Yeah,
about
you
it.
It's just like, yeah,
Um,
grass is stupid, huh? Doom, doom, doom. It sounds like a giant's coming through the door.
But when so everyone's like partied out by the 8th, and I just remember like growing up just getting like mad about it because it's like no one even wants to celebrate my birthday, so I'm just gonna fuck one of these holidays, like
Yeah.
fuck New Year's.
All right.
Just over
All
it.
right.
Create my own holiday. But no, the older I get, I'm just like,
Yeah, I don't care at
another
all
day.
about New Year's Eve. As somebody, like, I think it's because, like, as comics, we're in bars and, like, clubs and stuff quite a bit.
Yeah.
We're around drinking a lot.
yeah.
And none of us are, like, super heavy drinkers anyway.
Mm.
So it's like when everybody's like, oh, my gosh, it's New Year's Eve. Let's get hammered. It's like, nah.
Could not be less appealing.
Yeah,
I
it could
was
not
hammered
be.
last week. Like, yeah.
But for the first time in how long?
Oh no,
'Cause you're
I was
not a
just
heavy
saying,
drinker.
like, no. I
Oh,
haven't
you-
been hammered in forever.
Yeah.
Like, I get a buzz every once in a while, especially because you're at bars and you get like
Well,
discounted.
yeah,
drinks.
especially when you go to work at clubs and they're like they give you free
Yeah,
stuff,
what do
you want?
and you're like,
It's
hey,
like-
we'll give you a free. You want what do you want? And you're like,
Everything?
nothing.
More money.
yeah. How about you
You
save
just
the?
give me 50 extra bucks. How about that?
How much money did you think I would drink tonight?
Yeah.
And let's just add that to my paycheck. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really care for New Year's. But since Christmas just passed, I thought I'd ask some Christmas questions. Like, do you have what was the best Christmas you can remember? Was there like a best present you ever got?
My
or
cell phone.
Cell phone.
Yeah, I got a
what
cell
age?
phone. 16.
That's a good age.
Yeah, I got it at 16, and my mom tricked me too. She was like, I'm telling her I want a cell phone like for months, and she's like, I don't know. It's like I can't afford it. I don't know if it's the right time for your cell phone. And then she give me all my presents. She's like, I got one more present for you, and I'm like, this is it. This is a cell phone. And then she gives me it's a cologne. I'm like, fuck. She's like, well, try it. And inside the cologne box, there was a cell phone, and I was like, damn,
God,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
That's the magic
Yeah.
of Christmas.
I know, and I lost it.
Didn't you tell me though that there was a Christmas where your mom got you?
Yeah, newspaper. She fucked me up, dude. Because I was being a shithead. I was like 20.
That's all it was?
Well, so in
You were 20? I thought you were like 15.
no,
and, like,
no. I was like really like,
You're legally an adult.
yeah. I like dropped out of college. I got fired from work. I was just like really just being a bum. And my mom and I was just drinking a lot. I was a big heavy drinker back then. And my mom, when you want fruits to ripen quicker, you wrap them in newspaper. You wrap them in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought you were about to make an analogy or something.
Well, I mean,
No, that
it
is-
is.
Here we go.
Yeah, here it
So
is.
Here we go.
One Christmas, she just
Buckle
gave
in.
me nothing but newspaper, and she's
Oh,
like, "So you can
shit.
mature."
I get it now.
Yeah, and then she like recorded it, and she sends it to me every once in a while. She's like, "Remember when you were just a shithead?" And she was-
Yeah, Mom, thanks.
yeah, and yeah. She was like crying. She's like, "You need to mature." Like I'm like, "Ah, whatever." And I was like high as hell, and I was like, "Whatever." And then yeah, it sunk in. So, but yeah, that was
Look at you now.
yeah,
Look at
No
you.
newspaper needed.
yeah.
No.
Maybe
that.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes.
That's
we
a good
all,
reminder,
We all
though.
have a newspaper moment. you
Yeah,
know?
dude. Get yourself some newspaper. That's a fun thing to tell someone. It's like, dude, you need newspaper.
You need
man.
newspaper.
Yeah, you need to mature a little bit.
Yeah.
What
I
about
like that.
What about you, Clay? You got a best?
I remember very distinctly when I was younger getting my Nintendo 64.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was I
Oh,
know that's kind
that's-
of like cliche, but I remember being like just
And play Mario 64.
I had Mario. There was also Ocarina of Time, Zelda, which was
Oh,
like
yeah.
I flipped
Yeah.
out Mario Party, but like that first run of like Nintendo Banjo Kazooie was on there too.
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
that
Yeah.
N64 was like I need to quit banging the desk. I'm bad.
Well, the bungee cords are starting to come off of those hooks on the microphone, so that's why the mic's
That's
like
why.
wobbly a lot.
Okay. But yeah, I don't. Outside of that, I don't have like a really memorable one. When I was, you were overseas for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is this gonna fall?
That's not gonna say.
Yeah,
Damn it!
it's okay.
There you go.
Wait. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So those are memorable. We got 2 free beers like in the middle of Afghanistan. I'll never forget that. Yeah.
I had the flu one year when I was on deployment. I had the flu. 102-degree fever, body aches, throwing up, just shaking and sweating and just being and I just remember laying in my rack and being like, I hate Christmas.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I hate Christmas.
I hate Christmas so much. And then the very next year, I got to go home. I was home for Christmas, and I had just met my wife. Well, we were dating, but I just met my wife, and I got to be with her and her family, and they were all so nice to me. And I was like, this is the best Christmas ever. I was like, I'm so happy that I'm not overseas right now. And it was just I don't know. I think that was a top tier. Or the Christmas. So we found out my wife was pregnant with my son December 5th or something. And we lived in California, and then we were going to come home and make the big announcement for Christmas. But my leave got canceled.
Oh.
And so my wife and daughter went home, and I had to stay, and I couldn't go. And so it's I would Skype everyone, and they'd pass me around the room, be like, hey, and I'd be like, hi. And then we were supposed to do a big reveal, she's pregnant, while I was on there. And then the first thing I did, I opened up the, they opened up the call, and everybody goes, so Kelly's pregnant, huh? And I was like, because my daughter just walked in. She was 5, and she walked into people's house, and she's like, my mom's having a baby. It just made
so
the announcement,
excited.
and we were like,
Just wanted to be the center of attention.
Yeah. But so I don't know. The best gift I ever got, though, I don't know. There's not really any one of them that stands out too much, I don't think.
Recently my for Thanksgiving, I went to my fiance's family house, and they have their whole family there, and we were the first ones there, and her uncle pulled me aside and was like, Enzo, I gotta ask you something. It's like,
are you having relations with my niece? You're like, what?
no, he's like, do you like to party? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're about to give me some
about to do some
coke,
coke.
bro? It's Thanksgiving. I was like, yeah, well, I like to party, but what are you talking about? I was like, marijuana. Do you like to party?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'll smoke. And it's like, okay, well, you can't tell anyone this, but I smoke a lot of weed.
I would have laughed so hard. He was like, you can't tell anyone this, but I'm a cop. You're under arrest. They're like, no, you got me.
So then he just gave me a pen for the whole weekend just to have. He's like, just give me by the end of this weekend. And I didn't know,
He asked you for it back?
Yeah. It was
It's just like, here, take mine.
well, he's like, yeah, just enjoy the weekend. I thought it was super nice. He gave me a pen, and then I was just smoking, and
That is a pretty nice gift.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah,
Drugs.
right?
Never go wrong.
What's the best gift you've ever gotten?
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah. That was pretty much the last one anyway.
Okay.
I just wanted to
Thank us both from the bottom of your heart for joining you today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just wanted to go over. I wanted to get some type of holiday questions in there, whatever.
Yeah.
So if you guys plug your social media, any upcoming shows you got?
This comes out in New Year's. So, actually, I will be at the Triple R bar.
John's.
Oh, Waterloo.
Yeah, I will be in
Anti-bar, baby.
The Anti-bar, Thursday, January 16th through Saturday.
A weekend? At the Anti-bar?
Uh-huh. Michael Myers.
Where did he
hosting.
book that?
I mean,
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I I love Michael. He's great. He's a very hilarious
Oh,
comic.
you have a beef with him.
No, I don't have a beef
No,
with him
you
at
do
all.
have a beef
No,
with
I
them.
remember. I remember the thing.
Oh, I
he
screwed up royally
Yeah.
with him, and I
Yeah.
feel every time I see him, I just like, hey man, I just want to let you know I am really sorry about
You
that.
didn't
It's a
know.
great story.
Yeah, it's a great.
It's
bit.
so yeah. It was just, oh man, yeah.
That's bad. Well, I'll be there, and if you follow me on Enzo Comedy, that would be helpful.
I feel like I need to elaborate on it now.
You should
I
probably
at
tell
least-
the story.
Okay, all right. So Michael Myers, very funny comic, I believe out of Chicago,
Yeah.
right? He's on Instagram, and his name is very similar to another comic I know, who happens to be a homosexual, and we're very close, very good friends, and we make fun of each other all the time. And Michael posts a picture of a crash. He crashed his car. He hit a deer or something like that, or
Michael the comic.
Michael. Well, they're both comics,
Okay.
so
Your
that's
your
context.
friend or not the friend?
I thought it was my friend.
Right.
I thought my friend Michael, who's a very similar name, crashed his car, and so I commented on it, and I was like, "Oh, hope you're okay." And he said, "Yeah, I am." And then I said, "Probably wouldn't happen if you didn't drive like such like that." And then I go to bed. Last thing I send before shut my phone, go to bed, whatever. I wake up in the morning to a message that's like, thanks, question mark. And then I look, and it's Michael Myers, the comic from Chicago, who I don't know very well at all. And I immediately was like, holy crap, man, I'm so sorry. I thought you were my friend. Just, he's gay, and it's okay.
Yeah.
There was no way to back out of it, and and the last time I saw him, I was just like, hey man, I just want to
Again.
apologize,
I'm so sorry.
do you need a ride anywhere, I'm not a bigot, I
Yeah,
swear.
it's like, dude, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry you're gay.
He gets
bro.
upset, and I'm like, dude, don't be a fag
So
about this.
quit being-
Come on.
Right,
We all make
a lot of
mistakes.
editing here. Yeah.
You can follow me at Clay Does Comedy. I have the comedy showcase at Apotheosis on that. Matt Wayman is now taking over, hosting in
Nice.
January.
Really?
January 4th.
Matt Wayman back in the scene.
Back in the scene.
Back in the saddle.
Great guy. Tired of suing people, I guess. Or
No, I think he's
defending?
still.
Is it defending?
I think he's a defender.
He's
Yeah.
a public defender. That's right. So he's tired of defending those who need it. No. Yeah.
I
January
gave up-
4th coming out.
I gave up searching for justice for people, and now I want to go back to telling jokes.
Yes. Now I'm making fun of people.
Just kidding,
again.
Matt. I've invited him on before too, but he's super busy.
Great guy.
He's
Great
a
guy.
lawyer, husband, father, marathon runner.
Super accomplished.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'd like to do it, man, but I'm really busy. And I'm
Yeah.
like, understandably.
You got kids. I got it.
Did you plug your social media?
Yeah, Enzo
Okay.
Comedy.
Cool. All right. Last thing I ask everybody on here is best way to fix or improve this podcast. We've come a long way, but there's still more.
Probably like a better host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually
Yeah.
a pretty common answer. I've got.
You were skinnier the last time that we did
Maybe
this. I'd
lose
like
weight.
you
It'd be
to
so
like you to
much-
shed a few lbs the next time you talk to me before the next time you talk to me.
It's like
With your
you're,
fat
you're,
breath.
you
Your fat breath is all over me.
you're doing. You're like on what they do on like cable TV when they want someone who's like an on-air host. They're like, legally, we can't ask you to lose
Yeah.
weight, but we want you to just like tighten up.
Knocked
You know,
up.
just
Yeah.
tight. Just
Have
just
baby-
imagine tighter. Everything just
Yeah.
tighter. Just tighten up.
No, I think this podcast is great. I
Yeah.
think you're doing a lot of good improvements. You're right. Maybe something that stabilizes these mics, like
Yeah.
a clip.
Yeah.
You should
It just
just
puts-
get, now that these are.
Well, now
you
that I
should- you
have
need to get
these,
like,
I can
Yeah.
get clamps.
Yeah,
Clamps.
clamps.
Which, I don't know. I like mine like this. I liked it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah.
I
We'll
like
work.
it too. It's just like his
We'll work on it.
situation. But I mean, other than that, it's It's awesome.
We'll do
It
what
is.
we can.
Yeah, once you get the physical space kind of settled, I think it'll only improve.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna try to write some sketches, right?
Yeah, let's do
All right, so let's get to that, guys. That's it for this week. Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.